Hello, good morning. It's Tuesday morning. This is my small talk. And I'm a little embarrassed because I just got off the phone with my daughter's principal and I started crying on the phone. Oh, but the reason I started crying was because she finally talked to me and, I had sent an email to her and to her teacher saying that my 10-year-old will be saying no thank you to the masks and with a whole lot of reasons behind it, but basically saying that my daughter's not going to be wearing a mask, even though our superintendent has decided to ignore us and ignore county commissioners and force masks on 2-year-olds to 11-year-olds, which is a travesty. But anyway, I reached out to one of the teachers that I know personally at the school yesterday, and I asked if there are any kids without masks, and he said there were a few. And I said, were there going to be more? The reason I bring this up is because I want to talk about the power of one. The fact that one or two or maybe three kids showed up without masks will give permission to other kids to come without masks. The fact that Amanda is going to go to school today and from now on without a mask will give other kids that permission. And if I hadn't sent that email and if I would just said, oh well, it's a mandate, we're stuck, and just kept sending her to school, she would have gone with masks for I don't know how long. But I listened to advice of other people and I said, no, we're taking a stand. She's going to go without a mask. And she's going to have to go in every day and say no thank you at the front door, and then she's done. I was so grateful to hear the principals say that they're educators. They're not there to give the students a hard time or force things on them. They're there to educate, and that's her stance. And I was crying because it was so good to hear someone that actually honored parents' choice, and that I don't have to fight that battle with the school anymore, and I don't want to homeschool, and I didn't want to try and get her into a charter school this late. So that's why I'm crying, because I'm relieved that my efforts are paying off and that the principal is also honoring my choice. Anyway, the power of one. If we stand up, you'll be surprised if you see everyone else sitting down and no one's standing up. If you stand up, that gives permission for other people to stand up. I remember when I was in college and I was in a political science class. Political science was my undergrad. And the instructor was saying how we needed to abolish all institutions, churches, schools, everything, all institutions, marriage, they should just all be abolished. And everyone just kind of sat there listening to that. And then later he moved on to start talking about how the Renaissance started occurring after all the Dark Ages. And in the book talks about how this was in part due to religion. And so I looked around, nobody's questioning this guy at all. And I finally raised my hand and I said, well, don't you think that the beginning of religion had something to do with the fact that the Renaissance occurred and brought us out of the Dark Ages, and that those were institutions? And as soon as I did that, all these other hands started shooting up. And it's like no one wanted to go first. I find this happens a lot in life. A lot of people don't want to go first. But when you go first, you give permission to other people to go second and third and fourth. And you'll find out that a lot of people have been sitting there not wanting to go first. Well, I'm saying go first. Be the person that gives permission to other people to stand up for what they believe in and to question things. We cannot blindly conform. We just can't. So be willing to be the first. And always be willing to try. So I know some parents are not having the same luck I've had. Their kids have been kicked out of school. But you're not going to know until you try. So be the first and always be willing to try. Don't just sit down and go along. Try. Thank you.